Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, a soft block, a couple hard blocks, and a bolster will likely come in handy. I'll also offer a bind at some point, so if you like to have a strap for that, then go for it. And I'll invite you to get started in a restorative fish pose today. So if you're using a bolster, you can place that lengthwise kind of at the top of your mat. You can bring a soft block just beneath it, and then maybe have your hard blocks nearby. And then you can come to sit on the soft block. Before you lower down, if you're familiar with this shape, sometimes having this flat is kind of far to go down. So you could use a hard block at the far end just to adjust the angle for it a little bit. Maybe that'll feel more comfortable. Or if you're really tall or you have a tall spine, sometimes the bolster is not long enough. So just having a prop nearby to support the head can be good. And when you're ready, we'll lower down onto the bolster. And take your time here. And then see what you want to do with the legs. I'm going to choose butterfly, so soles of the feet together, knees wide, and maybe a prop underneath each leg, just so that the inner groin muscles don't have to work as hard to support the legs. And see if there's anything else you can adjust here to make yourself feel a little more comfortable. And then start to check in with the body here. And take a scan from the feet to the head just to notice. If there's anything that needs just a little adjustment or a little more support or anything like that, and take your time to do that. And then when you're ready, come and find your stillness. Before you move again, check in to see if you'd benefit from a little more time here. And you're welcome to stay as long as you need. When you do feel ready, you can reach down with the hands and gently guide the knees back together. Maybe pausing for a few breaths with the feet wide, the knees together, maybe the hands somewhere on the body. And then when you're ready, you can roll down to one side just to move your props out of the way. And then you can come down to lying on the belly. And keep one of your props nearby. It can either be your bolster or your two hard blocks. And we're going to set up for crocodile pose. So from here, bring the elbows onto whatever prop you're using. Awesome. And then check in with the shoulders. You can walk the elbows a little closer together or a little further apart. Fingertips can point towards the ceiling. And maybe you can also rest your forehead on the prop that you're using. Fingers can stay pointing up, or if you want to bend the elbows a little deeper, maybe the thumbs towards the back of the head, feel free to do that. If you start to feel pinching through the shoulders, or if the arms start to go numb, then you can back out of the shape as much as you need to. When you're ready, find your stillness. Perhaps notice the gentle flow of your breath. Awesome. As you feel ready, you can gently release the arms and push your bolster out of the way so you can lower the head down to the floor, maybe stacking the palms under the forehead and give the hips a gentle rock, maybe give the head a gentle rock. Awesome. And then from here, cactus that right arm down towards the floor. And then you can bring the left fingertips down to the floor on the other side. Setting up for a chest stretch here, so just make sure that you have lots of space. And the right elbow is roughly in line with the right shoulder. And start to press down through the left hand as you start to turn the chest open towards the left-hand side. And then see what the rest of the body needs to do here. Maybe you're stacking the left leg on top of the right, or maybe you step that left foot behind or in front of the right leg, see what feels best. And then the left hand can stay down the whole time. If you want to go for a deeper expression, then you could also think about bringing the left hand behind you. And then see what's happening with the head and neck here. It could probably benefit from a little support. So if your head is hovering, just bring a prop underneath for it. And again, make sure it's a pain-free expression. If you're feeling this more in the shoulder, then maybe you want to adjust the positioning of the arm a little bit. See if you can find that nice sensation, that nice stretch through the chest. If the left hand is behind you, you can bring it back down to the floor and then slowly roll down onto the belly. And we'll set straight up for the second side. So you can cactus the left arm out towards the left. Bring the right fingertips to the floor. And then start to turn your chest open towards the right. And see what this side feels like. See what you want to do with that top leg. Either step it back or forward. You can leave it stacked. And then just like the first side, if the head needs a little support, add that in. Right arm can stay to the floor, or maybe you're going for that bind. You can take the right hand behind you. Stay with your pain-free expression. Breathe with whatever you're feeling here. Gently bring that right hand back to the floor if it's lifted, and you can roll the chest back down to the floor. You see what feels like a nice release. Maybe it's to reach the arms down by your sides, and you can turn the head to one side. And if your head is turned to the side, then you can switch it to the other side. When you're ready, you can bring the head to center. Your hands under the shoulders, press up to a tabletop position. And from your tabletop, look around for your blocks. They might come in handy. And we'll step one foot forward and then the other to sit up for a forward fold or a dangling shape. So give your feet as much distance between them as feels good. And then you can find a depth that feels appropriate here. So if it feels better to be in more of a halfway lift, or if you want to keep the hands around for support the whole time, then go for it. Finding your pain-free expression. And once you find it, see if you can find stillness in it. If you're looking for something a little more through the upper body, you could think about interlacing the hands behind the back, maybe reaching fist up towards the ceiling. Keeping the pelvis light and lifted, the head and the feet nice and heavy. Gently release your arms if they're lifted. Bring the fingertips to the floor and then start to heel toe the feet a little bit wider apart. Point the toes out to an angle and start to sink the hips. And we'll come and find a squat. It might feel good to make yourself a seat with your heart blocks, just to take the pressure out of the low body a little bit. And we're actually going to round in and stretch out the back of the neck. So just go nice and slow and see how this feels in your body. If it compromises the low back, then you're welcome to stay up the whole time. Bring the chin in towards the chest, and then imagine that the head is hanging really heavy here, while the rest of the spine is still somewhat upright. If this feels like enough, then great. Or if you like, you could interlace the hands behind the skull, not so much to pull, but rather to use the weight of the arms, maybe to bring the head a little bit deeper. Find a place that feels sustainable, and then find your stillness. Awesome. Gently release the hands, and gently lift the head and the spine back upright. If you're on some props, you can take them out of the way and lower the bum down to the floor. You might give the knees a gentle windshield wiper here. Maybe puff the chest up. Maybe lift the gaze for a counter stretch. Awesome. And then you can swing the legs around, come and find an easy pose, cross-legged position. And you might choose to sit up off of one of your props. And choose something that feels comfortable. And then take a moment to settle the hips and to lengthen the spine. Soften the shrug muscles if they're lifted. And then take the right hand down to the floor. Depending on how high you're sitting, the floor might be a little far away, so you're welcome to use a prop. And then take the head to the opposite direction, so the left ear towards the left shoulder. And the gaze can stay pointing forward or down towards the floor, and position it wherever you find that best stretch from the right shoulder all the way up to the right ear. And when you find it, you can stay right here. If you want to take it a little deeper, then maybe the left hand cups the head. And again, not so much to pull, rather to add some weight to the stretch. And find the place that feels sustainable, and then find your stillness. Be with your breath, be with what you're feeling. If the left hand is cupping the head, gently release it. Bring the chin in towards the chest. The hands to the lap, roll the head over towards the left or the right, and then back over towards the left. And just take it side to side a couple of times. The next time the chin comes to center, pause, and then lift and stack the head on top of the spine. And we'll set that up on the second side, so maybe a block with you. You can take the left hand to the floor over to the left, and then take that right ear towards the right shoulder. And gaze can stay forward or down any amount. And again, find the version of this that gives you a similar stretch through that left shoulder all the way up to the left ear. And again, you can stay right here. Maybe you cup the head with the right hand this time. Make sure it stays in a pain-free zone. If you start to feel pinching or something else like that, then gently back out. Gently release the right hand. Bring the chin to center. Take the head over towards the left. And then back to center over to the right. A couple more times, side to side. When you're ready, chin back to center, and then lift and stack the head on the spine. And setting up for rest now, we'll rest in a seated meditation, but if you'd like to lie down on your back or come to child's pose, you're welcome to do that. And if you're in cross-legged, you might switch the cross of the legs just to keep things even for the hips. If you want to add on any layers or adjust your lighting or music for your rest time, then go for it. Maybe take the hands somewhere to the legs. Keep the spine tall, the shoulders soft. Maybe a slight tuck of the chin in towards the throat to keep the back of the neck long. Eyes closed or gaze soft. Find your stillness. Find your rest. deepening the breath once again. Inhale, breath, lift up. And sigh and lower. Once more. Collect the hands at the heart, bow the chin in towards the chest. Thank you for sharing your breath and your energy today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. And my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.